Hi everyone, this is Jana here. Welcome to my channel. So today we're going to make something summery-ish because where I live, tomatoes are always in season because this is always summer here. And because I wanted to show you guys, I have been making this soup for a friend, and let me show you how I put this together. So here are the tomatoes. What kind of tomatoes? Any. Your favorite kind. Now we quarter them, add them to a roasting tray. Just a reminder, all the quantities and the recipe and the method is going to be linked down below for the printable recipe on my website, or it's going to be in the description box. So refer to that. You don't bother taking notes or things like that. Tomatoes are so summery, aren't they? But in this case here, for this soup, which by the way can be served hot or cold, it's up to you or where you live. So there's something heartwarming and very comforting, and to some extent very wintry because it's tomato soup, and it reminds you, of course, of a tomato sauce, but it's a little bit more less acid, of course, less acidic, and round because we're going to add the cream. So this is perfect for either, like I said, summer or winter, depends on where you live. This soup is going to be delivered to my good friend Christian, who's, by the way, is undergoing a very exhausting and long treatment. So we all are going to wish Christian well. So it would be nice if we could hashtag. He's gonna love it. He deserves it. He's a very, very good friend. This one is not so good. It looks a little bit sad. So, okay, tomatoes are in. Now, next step is some garlic whole, some onions. Now, any kind of onions. I must confess, I prefer with red onions, but I didn't have any. So white onions or yellow. I think this one is white, actually. Sweeter, a little bit sweeter, which in this case, for this soup, the beauty on this soup is to balance perfectly the right amount of acidity that comes from the tomatoes and the sugar that also comes from the tomatoes and comes from the onions and the celery that we're going to add. So this is an easy soup to make, but when you get it right, it's beautiful. Now a little bit of brown sugar, some salt, dry thyme, some celery, like I said, for sweetness, and some vinegar. Now, what kind of vinegar? Red wine vinegar is the best. Tarragon vinegar is good. White vinegar, not so much, but if you don't have any of those, balsamic vinegar is really good. But if you don't have any of those, white vinegar will do, but then add a little bit less. Please note, my oil-free, good bunch of people here. I'm not going to add any oil for this, and it will be sugar-free if I hadn't added the brown sugar. If you want, you can add, instead of the brown sugar, you can add agave, you can add a maple syrup, or you can add some crushed dates or some, not crushed, but paste, date paste or raisins paste, because this is going to caramelize now in the oven. And it's going to, like I said, balance out the amount of acid and sugars in this dish, which is very, very important. And to the oven it goes. Oh, by the way, it's going to 375 Fahrenheit for 1 hour. Yeah, for 1 hour. The important thing is that it roasts beautifully, and you see those bits and pieces that are a little bit dark brown. That's what we're looking for. So let's go. Now we are going to add to these, we're going to add water, vegetable bouillon, some miso paste. If you don't have a miso paste, just keep it. Add a little bit of soy sauce, but be careful because soy sauce and miso paste, they tend to be pretty salty. So you're gonna have to be the judge of that, of how much or the amount of salt you're going to add to your soup. Pay attention. And now we're going to let it simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes, and so all the flavors come together. And then I will be back to show you guys what else we're gonna do. All right, so our soup have been simmering, and now we're going to add a key ingredient for this recipe, which is going to bring all the flavors together, which is nutritional yeast. If you don't have nutritional yeast, you can add a little bit of MSG. If you're into that, I add it sometimes, I'm gonna be honest with you. Or you can make my nutritional yeast substitute, which is going to be linked over there in the cards as well as in the description box below. So our beautiful nooch is in, and now we blend it. Here we have our tomato soup ready. Now, guys, this is one of the best things I've made, I think, in the past 2 months. Every time I say that, but it's because every time comes a new recipe and I get impressed and I gotta share that with you. I was actually not planning on making tomato soup because it's not summer yet. Well, in some places, summer is approaching, but I think that if you have tomatoes available, you gotta make it because it's so affordable and so surprisingly good, you know, for those cold winter nights where it's rainy and you want something comforting, and then you add the toasts and with cheese, or in the summer if you want to have it cold. So this is super versatile, and that's what this channel is about, isn't it? And because I have been making for my friend, and I'm like, okay, I made it for Christian twice and he loved it. Let me make for the channel because I love you guys. And this is it for today. Don't forget to like this video if you do, dislike if you don't. No, you're not gonna do that, are you? And follow me on my social media. It's going to be linked down below. And if you make this, tag me on Instagram or Facebook because I love when you guys do that. And apart from that, take care of each other. Have a beautiful week, and I see you next time. Bye bye.